What's going on, Muscle Monsters? Alain Gonzalez here, and in this video I want to give you the top 3 mass building exercises for your chest. 3 exercises that you must be incorporating into your training program if you want to maximize overall development of your chest. Alright, so before we get into those 3 exercises, let's kind of go over the anatomy or the simple anatomy of the chest as well as the functions of the chest so that you can better understand why these exercises are so effective. So despite what you may have been told in the past, the chest is really just made up of 2 parts. We've got the pec major, which is essentially the entire lower pec and the mid pec, and then we have the upper clavicular. This is the upper chest, all right? So there's technically no mid chest. I mean, this, yes, is the middle of the chest, but there's no separate muscle there, right? There's no separate function or anything like that. So it's just those 2 main parts. So when we're training the chest, it is, and we want to develop the entire chest, we just have to build those 2 muscles. The functions of those 2 portions of the chest, or the chest in general, I guess, is number 1, to get the humerus across the body. Obviously, you can see if you do this from home that when you take your arm and you cross over your body, your chest is firing. The other function is shoulder flexion. Okay, so whenever we bring our shoulder up, we are using the chest. Now here's something that I want you to do from home, right? I want you to take your arm, I want you to stick it out, okay, bring it down, and I want you to just place your hand on your chest. Now bring your arm up, 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 and what are you noticing as you're coming up? The further up you go, the more the tension becomes or moves to the upper portion of the chest, right? So when we're here on the bench press, for example, we're hitting the majority of the pec major, or the pec major entirely, rather, right? But as you come up, right, almost into more of an incline, you start shifting the tension into the upper clavicular, which makes sense, right? Because the flat bench builds the pec major, and the incline bench is more of an upper chest builder. So now that we understand that, let's jump into the top 3 exercises that I recommend for you to build your chest. Number 1, it's probably obvious to you already, is the flat barbell bench press. The reason I like the flat barbell bench press is because number 1, it's going to allow you to load the pecs. There's no other exercise that will allow you to move as much weight as the flat barbell bench press. Another reason I like this exercise is because it's one of the exercises that allows you to load the chest, but also puts most of the tension on the pec major, which is the largest part of your chest. So that one is probably pretty obvious for you. You're probably already doing a flat barbell bench press, and that's great. You can focus on just getting stronger at the bench, and that's going to help you develop your chest, mainly when it comes to the pec major. The next exercise that I would recommend that you incorporate is some kind of an incline barbell or dumbbell press. The reason you want to do this is because this is going to allow you to further target the upper clavicular. But while you are hitting the upper clavicular to a significant degree, you're still getting some tension on the pec major. So this is an overall chest builder. Just like on the flat bench, you're still getting some upper clavicular work, but not as much as, for example, the pec major when you're performing the flat bench press. So with those 2 movements, you should probably have more than enough to build your chest. However, because over time we will need more volume, right? I recommend the 3rd exercise, which is also an exercise that you're probably already doing, and I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, Alain, this is not even a chest exercise, but just hear me out. Okay, the last one I recommend is the overhead press. And the reason that I recommend the overhead press is because this is going to build, for the most part, you know, obviously aside from your triceps and your shoulders, your upper chest. Here's what I want you to do from home again, right? I want you to stick your arm out right in front of you, okay? Hold your hand on your chest and then move up, up. And once you get here, this is about the angle where you're hitting your incline pressing, right? So as you can see, the tension has shifted to the upper pec. But if we go up here, we've completely removed tension from the pec major, and now we're really hitting that upper chest. Now, you're probably thinking, hey Align, I'm already doing all three of these exercises, and that's great, all right? So here's the deal. What you want to do is you want to ensure that, number one, these are the main focuses of your chest training, particularly your flat and your incline bench press. Okay, now obviously, if you are on some kind of a split where you're doing your chest on a separate day than your shoulders, all right, and that's probably not going to be the best bet for you, and we can talk about that in another video. But if that's the case, then obviously your flat and your incline bench press would go on your chest day, and that overhead press would stay in your shoulder day, right? But the fact that you're still doing that overhead press, you need to take that into consideration when you are talking about total volume for your chest. That has to be accounted for. So when you're focusing on these three exercises and progressively getting stronger, right, there's gonna come a point where you just can't move any more weight on the incline press or on the bench press or even on the overhead press, okay? And this is where the other isolation exercises come into play. Now obviously you can add a few more sets here and there on the bench press or the incline press or the overhead press, but at some point, you know, you're gonna wanna do, you know, other exercises just for more volume. And this is where you would throw in your chest flies, your cable flies and things of that nature, just for more volume, okay? But although those are great exercises for the chest and they're gonna add volume, they are not the focal point of your training. The focal point of your training is the flat bench press, get stronger there. Incline dumbbell or barbell press, get stronger there. And then of course, continue getting stronger on your overhead press. If you can do that, your chest will grow. That will make up for 90 to 95%, if not more, of your overall chest development. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, click the like button below. If you haven't already, make sure to grab my chest training DVD. It's completely free. It's a series of videos where I go over different tips and tricks to build your chest and your bench press. Just click the link in the description. Go there, put your name and your email address. You'll get instant access to that. Do not forget to subscribe. Until next time, peace.